Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. These powerful words by Jim Rohn have echoed in the minds of achievers for decades. But let me ask you, what kind of person do you have to become to attract success? The answer, my friend, is simple but not easy. A person of mental discipline. Success is not a destination you stumble upon. It's something you attract by becoming the kind of person who deserves it. That kind of person is built through mental discipline. Most people look for shortcuts, tricks, or quick wins. But true success comes from developing inner strength. When you cultivate mental discipline, you train your mind to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Day after day, choice after choice, you shape your mindset to serve your goals. You learn to silence the noise, ignore the distractions, and act with purpose. The truth is, success is not reserved for the smartest or the most talented. It belongs to those who are consistent, focused, and disciplined in their thoughts and actions. Discipline is what separates those who start from those who finish. When your mind is trained, your emotions don't dictate your actions. You begin to act based on commitment, not convenience. You don't wait to feel motivated. You move forward because it's part of who you are becoming. The mentally disciplined don't rise by accident. They rise by intention. They've built a habit of showing up regardless of how they feel. They don't make excuses, they make progress. And the more you develop this inner discipline, the more magnetic you become to opportunities, growth, and results. Success begins to follow you, not because you're chasing it, but because you're aligned with it. Jim Rohn said it best, success is something you attract by the person you become. That person is created through daily acts of discipline, focus, and mental strength. Build your mind, and your future will follow. The foundation of mental discipline is built on small, consistent actions. Many people believe they need to make huge changes overnight, but true transformation begins with simple commitments. Promising yourself that you'll wake up at a certain time, and actually doing it. Saying you'll finish a task, and seeing it through. These may seem minor, but they are powerful building blocks. Each time you follow through, you send a message to your subconscious that your words matter, that your intentions are real. This is how self-trust is developed, and self-trust is the root of all discipline. Most people break promises to themselves without realizing the damage it causes. Every broken promise chips away at confidence. Every time you delay, avoid, or quit, you tell yourself that your goals don't really matter. But the opposite is also true. Every time you do what you said you would, no matter how small, you reinforce a stronger identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. That identity shift is powerful. It builds momentum, it builds belief, and belief fuels action. Mental discipline grows with every small victory. It doesn't require dramatic life changes. It requires consistency. A 5-minute action done every day is more powerful than a 1-hour burst once a month. The key is to make promises that stretch you, not overwhelm you. When you master the art of keeping small promises, you gain the strength to handle bigger ones. This creates a compound effect that slowly transforms your life. In the beginning, the actions seem simple, but over time, they shape who you are. Discipline isn't about force, it's about alignment. You align your thoughts, words, and actions. And once those things line up, your results begin to reflect the powerful, disciplined person you're becoming. The mind is a garden, and what you plant in it will eventually grow. Mental discipline requires more than just action. It demands that you protect and manage the thoughts you allow into your head. Most people let their minds become playgrounds for negativity, doubt, fear, and distraction. They consume toxic media, surround themselves with pessimistic voices, and replay the same discouraging thoughts day after day. And then they wonder why they feel stuck or unmotivated. What you feed your mind is just as important as what you feed your body. If you want strength, focus, and confidence. You have to nourish your mind with ideas, messages, and influences that align with the person you want to become. This means being intentional about what you listen to, who you spend time with, and what kind of content you allow into your life. Your mental environment is either lifting you up or pulling you down. There is no neutral. Discipline begins by recognizing that every thought, every word, and every influence has an effect. You can't keep exposing yourself to distractions and negativity and expect to live a clear, focused, powerful life. Start choosing your inputs with purpose. Read books that challenge and inspire you. Listen to voices that speak growth, wisdom, and encouragement. Surround yourself with people who hold you accountable to a higher standard. This is how you train your mind to think better. And when your thinking improves, everything else follows. Mental discipline isn't just about what you do, it's about what you allow. A strong mind is not filled with clutter. It's directed, sharpened, and focused. Protect your mental environment like it's sacred, because it is. What goes into your mind determines what comes out in your actions, your habits, and ultimately, your results. Discipline is not supposed to feel easy. In fact, one of the greatest truths about mental discipline is that it requires discomfort. Growth and comfort cannot exist in the same space. Many people avoid discipline because it feels painful in the moment. Waking up early, saying no to distractions, staying focused when your mind wants to wander. None of it feels pleasant at first. But here's the truth. That short-term discomfort is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. The pain of discipline is temporary. It stretches you, sharpens you, and builds resilience. But the pain of regret, that lasts much longer. It lingers, and it grows heavier over time. Every time you choose the easy route, you delay your own growth. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you trade long-term progress for momentary relief. Mental discipline means facing the discomfort instead of avoiding it. It means choosing what is difficult now so life can be easier later. Success demands sacrifice, and that sacrifice often comes in the form of doing what most won't. Working when you're tired, studying when others are wasting time, and sticking to your goals even when there's no applause. There's a hidden reward inside discomfort. As you endure it, you get stronger. Your mind becomes tougher. What once felt hard becomes your new normal. And suddenly, the very actions that were once a struggle become habits that drive you forward. That's the power of mental discipline. You must decide what kind of pain you're willing to live with the temporary sting of discipline or the heavy weight of regret. One shapes you, the other drains you. If you embrace discomfort now, you'll thank yourself later. Because discomfort is not your enemy, it's your training ground. The real test of mental discipline is not how you act when things are going well, but how you show up when everything feels hard. It's easy to stay on track when you're energized, motivated, and everything is flowing. But true strength is revealed in the moments when you don't feel like doing anything, when the excitement is gone, when progress is slow, and when no one is watching. That's when most people quit. That's when the undisciplined step back, but the mentally strong push forward. They show up anyway. They do the work because it's part of who they are, not just something they do when it's convenient. Consistency is one of the most underrated forms of discipline. The ability to keep moving forward even when the conditions aren't perfect is a superpower. Mentally disciplined people don't wait for the mood to strike. They rely on structure, not emotion. They understand that emotions come and go, but habits are what carry you through. Even a small step forward on a difficult day is still progress. Over time, those small steps taken on hard days become the difference between success and failure. It's not about grand gestures or bursts of energy. It's about the daily grind, the silent effort, the commitment to keep going when no one is clapping. The most successful people in the world have one thing in common: they are relentless. They have trained their minds to lead their actions, not follow their feelings. When you commit to showing up every day, especially when it's hard, you separate yourself from the crowd. You build mental toughness that can't be bought or borrowed. And that discipline becomes the foundation for everything you accomplish. Because it's not about doing it once. It's about doing it again and again, no matter what. When you train your mind to become disciplined, everything in your life begins to shift. Mental discipline isn't just about controlling thoughts. It's about transforming your actions and your identity. Once your thinking becomes structured, focused, and intentional, your behavior naturally follows. You start building better habits, not by force, but because they align with the person you're becoming. You no longer need to push yourself as hard because your new mindset is pulling you forward. That's the real transformation. Your internal discipline begins to create external results. The change may not happen overnight, but it becomes visible over time. You begin to show up differently in your work, in your relationships, and in how you handle challenges. You don't fall apart under pressure because your mind has been trained to remain steady. You're not easily distracted because you've built focus as a habit. You don't wait to be motivated. You move with purpose. These shifts compound, and what used to feel impossible starts to feel natural. Success becomes less about luck and more about rhythm. You develop a flow, a pattern of doing the right things consistently. The disciplined mind leads to consistent action, and consistent action produces meaningful results. Eventually, the life you once dreamed of becomes the life you are living, not because it landed in your lap, but because you built the foundation for it every day through mental discipline. You no longer chase success with desperation. You attract it with alignment. Your mindset, your habits, and your results begin to mirror each other. And in that harmony, life begins to respond differently to you. This is the power of a disciplined mind. It doesn't just change what you do. It changes who you are, and that changes everything.